Long ago, in the towns and villages of Israel, when dusty roads stretched between small houses made of stone and clay, there lived a woman whose name many people had forgotten. She was known not by her smile, not by her kindness, not by her dreams, but by her sickness. For 12 long years, she had suffered from a flow of blood that would not stop. It began quietly. At first, she thought it would pass in a few days. Then days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. And before she knew it, 12 whole years had gone by. 12 years is a long time. Long enough for a child to be born and grow tall. Long enough for seasons to change again and again. Long enough for hope to grow tired. Because of her sickness, her life changed in ways she never expected. In those days, according to the law given through Moses, a woman with a flow of blood was considered unclean. That meant she could not enter the temple courts. She could not join celebrations. If she touched someone, they too would be considered unclean. It was not just her body that suffered. It was her heart. People stepped away from her in the marketplace. Neighbors whispered when she passed. Friends slowly stopped visiting. Loneliness became her closest companion. She had once laughed freely. She had once danced at weddings. She had once dreamed of a family, of children running through her home. But now her house was quiet. Too quiet. She spent all the money she had on doctors. One after another, she went to them with hope in her eyes. This one will help me, she would think. Some gave her bitter herbs. Some made her drink strange mixtures. Some spoke long words she did not understand. Some only took her coins and shook their heads. Each time she left with less money and less hope. The Bible tells us in the book of Gospel of Mark that she had suffered many things from many physicians. And instead of getting better, she grew worse. Her body was weak. Her hands trembled. Her heart grew tired. But somewhere deep inside her, a small spark of hope refused to die. Around that time, people were talking about a man from Nazareth. They said he healed the sick. They said he made the blind see. They said he touched lepers, and instead of becoming unclean, he made them clean. They said even demons obeyed him. His name was Jesus Christ. Everywhere he went, crowds followed him. Fishermen left their nets. Mothers carried their children to him. The poor, the broken, the forgotten, all came running. When the woman first heard his name, her heart beat faster. What if? She whispered to herself. But doubt quickly answered. What if he cannot help you? What if you are turned away? What if you are too unclean? Still, the stories kept coming. He healed a man with a withered hand. He made a paralyzed man walk. He spoke to sinners with kindness. Each story fed the tiny spark inside her heart. One morning, she heard that Jesus was coming near her town. The streets were already filling with people. Children ran ahead shouting. Men gathered at the roadside. Women stood on rooftops trying to see. The woman stood inside her small house, listening to the noise outside. Her heart was racing. If I go, she thought, I will be pushing through the crowd. I will be touching people. They will not want me near them. She looked down at her thin hands. She felt the weakness in her body. Then a bold thought came to her. If I only touch his clothes, I will be healed. Not if he touches me. Not if he speaks to me. Not if he lays hands on me. If I only touch his garment. It was a quiet faith. A simple faith. But it was strong. She covered herself and stepped outside. The sun was hot. The streets were crowded. People pressed close together, trying to move forward. In the middle of the crowd, surrounded on every side, walked Jesus. The woman could barely see him at first. All she saw were backs and shoulders and moving feet. She pushed gently. Excuse me. Please. Let me pass. Some people frowned. Some ignored her. Some stepped away without knowing why. Her heart pounded in her chest. What if I fall? What if someone recognizes me? What if I am too late? But she kept moving. Step by step. Closer and closer. Now she could see him. He did not look like a king. He wore simple clothes. Dust clung to the hem of his garment from the road. But there was something about him: peace, strength, kindness, all at once. The crowd pressed tighter. She reached out her trembling hand. Just a little more. Just a little closer. Then, she touched the edge of his garment. It was only for a second. A small touch. Almost nothing. But in that very moment, something happened. A warmth moved through her body. Not like fire that burns, but like light filling darkness. Like life rushing into dry bones. She felt it instantly. The bleeding stopped. The weakness lifted. Strength returned to her limbs. 12 years of suffering, gone in a moment. Her eyes widened. She looked at her hands. She knew. She was healed. She wanted to slip away quietly. That had been her plan. Just touch and leave. No one would know. But Jesus stopped walking. The crowd kept moving, but he stood still. He turned around and asked, "Who touched me?" His disciples looked confused. One of them said, "Master, the crowd is pressing against you. Many people are touching you." But Jesus shook his head. "Someone touched me. I felt power go out from me." The woman froze. Her heart began pounding again. Not from sickness, but from fear. He knew. She could hide no longer. Slowly, trembling, she stepped forward. The crowd parted. People stared at her. She fell at his feet. With tears in her eyes and a shaking voice, she told him everything. She told him about the 12 years. About the doctors. About the money she lost. About the loneliness. About her hope. The crowd listened. Some gasped when they realized she had been unclean. Some stepped back again. But Jesus did not move away. He looked at her. Not with anger. Not with disgust. But with love. Then he spoke words she would never forget. "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace, and be healed of your affliction." Daughter. It was the only time recorded in the Gospels that Jesus called someone that. Daughter. Not unclean woman. Not sick woman. Not problem. Daughter. In that one word, he gave her more than healing. He gave her belonging. He gave her honor. He gave her a place again. The crowd saw it. They saw not just a miracle, but mercy. The woman stood up, no longer trembling. She felt clean. She felt whole. She felt seen. 12 years had stolen much from her, but in one moment, Jesus restored what she thought was lost forever. She walked home differently that day. The streets looked brighter. The sky seemed blue. Even the air felt lighter. When neighbors saw her, they noticed something had changed. Her steps were steady. Her eyes were alive. Her face carried peace. And word spread quickly. The woman with the issue of blood, she is healed. Jesus did it. She only touched his garment. From that day on, she was no longer known for her sickness, she was known for her faith. Years later, when people told the story, they did not just speak of the miracle. They spoke of courage, of quiet faith, of a woman who refused to let shame stop her from reaching for hope. And her story was written down so that generations would remember it. It appears in the Gospels of Gospel of Matthew, Gospel of Mark, and Gospel of Luke. Not a long story. Not many verses. But powerful. Because it reminds us that even a small touch of faith can bring great change. Maybe there are people today who feel like she once did. Tired. Forgotten. Ashamed. Waiting for healing that seems slow to come. Her story whispers across the years. Do not give up. Do not let fear stop you. Even if your faith feels small, even if it is only enough to reach out and touch the edge of hope, it is enough. Jesus did not ask her how strong her faith was. He did not ask how perfect she had been. He simply responded to her trust. Maybe there are people today